I'd like to see this research change the way we kind of see MS and see how we treat MS and how maybe have an impact on the future for projects that, you know, have MS involved in it, how we address treatment and diagnoses, and yeah, I'd just like to see that happen in the future.
I want policies to change.
Yeah.
I want to affect how most illnesses, not just, I think this is something that can spread. It's not just about MS. I think if they take on board the same attitudes towards diagnosis, and once you're diagnosed, how you're treated by the professionals or the nursing team, I want to be able to say that bit of legislation is because of what we did, or it's affected how other treatments are diagnosed or how the people are treated once they're diagnosed.
At the moment, it's kind of like a one-size-fits-all and everybody's different.
Absolutely.
So
everyone's MS is different, far more.
Exactly.
You know, your experience of it as well. But yeah, get some policies together that make a change, that it's not just limited to those with MS, but it's to do with how people are treated with long-term illnesses.
Yeah.
I think that would be really good.
Me personally, I would like to see the change in when you go to seek medical advice, when you don't know what's happening to you, not to be judged because of your race. Them actually listening to me or listening to the person saying what's happening, because we're not all qualified we're not doctors. So if you go to your GP or you go to A&E, I'm hoping that it could be sort of in A&E, in the GP practice, with the MS support team, like the MS nurse and the neurologist, so that when a person...
The bodies that deal with it.
Yes, so they can actually see that this is where you've gone wrong.
I think for me, when I've been interviewing people and doing the analysis, some of the things that have stuck out for me are the way that medical staff have spoken to, you know, other people with MS. I interviewed a lady who told me she actually had on one of her discharge summaries, she had the words neurotic and histrionic written on just prior to her diagnosis. So that was quite shocking, and actually being able to pick things apart, that's been something that's been important to me. And when we're doing the analysis, really getting to the bottom of it, what is that about, why was she being treated that way, what barriers did she have, and just trying to kind of like think around that. Really, that's one thing that I've really enjoyed doing.
The one thing that did really stand out to me, and it's like a common theme throughout the interviewing that we've done, is that there's a lot of like misconceptions and cultural stigma that is attached to living with MS. So I've interviewed maybe some women who maybe felt like, oh, when I have MS, I no longer am able to be a mother. I'm not longer able to be in a relationship. I'm not able to do this. And also sometimes with some men, they feel like they're less of a man, or they feel like they cannot provide, they cannot do this. And it's just like, it's not just coming from them internally, it's reflected back to them from society because of the misconception people have about living with MS is like. And people, even from my personal experience, when I share that I have MS or live with it, people automatically assume, and it's like, I've been given, I don't know, 5 days to live or something, and they're like, okay, they're like, oh, what is it
so
like?
You're on your way out.
And they have this very, I wouldn't even call it sympathetic, it's almost like a pitying way of looking at you, like, oh, this is the girl who's living with this type of disability, oh my goodness. But yeah, I think that's one thing that just stood out to me, the cultural stigma that's attached to it. But another thing that just stand out to me is really how the system is based on luck. I think postcode lottery is really something, living in the right place, meeting the right doctors at the right time plays such an important part. And some people may live in a place where they don't have access to the right kind, even if they do have access to an MS clinic, they don't have the right kind of doctors maybe, or the doctor's not giving them the information they need. Or sometimes somebody can live in a place where they have the right amazing doctors, and I've known this because from the personal experience we've shared, some of us have really great doctors that, you know, communicate with us, and nurses that, you know, are on it, and we have really great, you know, medical treatments available, and it kind of makes you realize how much that luck is involved in being in the right space. But I don't want people to have that luck, because I want people to have that access no matter where they live. I want doctors to put that effort in to kind of overcome that systemic barrier that a lot of people who live with chronic illnesses can have. Yeah.
And that's why it will be so interesting when we go on to the next step, where we have the day where we have all the healthcare professionals come in. We can actually, you know, say to them, look, we don't want it to be a postcode lottery. We all want to be treated the same, irrespective of our colour, creed, race, religion.
Exactly.
Just treat us as decent human beings,
we don't want that disparity. We want the gap to be bridged and them to have access to the level of care they deserve.